Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to present a unique poem Wang Wei composed for Pei Di. In my last video, I presented a poem showing the perfect friendship between Wang Wei and Pei Di. Today's poem is a humorous one, showing how much Wang Wei cared about his young friend. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important for me. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. So if you would like to read the original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Now, back to Wang Wei and Pei Di. As I mentioned in my earlier videos, we know very little about Pei Di except the little information we gathered from his and Wang Wei's poems. So I figured a little background about Pei Di and the historical context of his time might help us to have a better understanding of the relationship between Wang Wei and Pei Di. We actually know quite a lot about the extended clan Pei Di was from. That is, Hedong Pei Shi, all the Pei from the eastern region to the Yellow River, especially the Peis from Wenxi County located in today's Shanxi province. The pink area in this map was the Tang territory, and the red star indicated where Wenxi was. There were many members of the Pei from this extended clan who served as great generals or officials during the Tang Dynasty. The most famous general from this family was Pei Min, who served as 左金吾卫大将军, the left Grand General of Golden Guard during the Kaiyuan reign between 713 to 742 AD. Jin Wu Wei, or the Golden Guard, was the royal guard in charge of the security of all the royal palaces, the capital, and its surrounding area. In other words, the generals heading this guard were responsible for the safety of the emperor and the royal clan. There were two officers in this position, the left and the right grand generals. The left general was the senior position. Pei Min was the left grand general and was the best swordsman of his time, known as Jian Sheng, or the Shades of Sword. Wang Wei and many other poets composed poems praising his swordsmanship and loyalty to the emperor. If you are interested, I can translate the poem by Wang Wei. Please let me know if you're interested in the comment section. Another prominent member of the Pei family was the premier Pei Yaoqing. He was a child prodigy who passed the National Civil Service examination for child genius when he was only 8 years old. He got his first job as an editor at 秘书省, or the Secretariat Department at the court at the age of 20. Over the next 20 years, he was promoted steadily and reached the rank 4 as the governor of Jizhou, located in today's Shandong province, in 725 AD. In 721, Wang Wei was exiled to Shandong as Shichang Chanjun, or the military infantry officer. So when Pei Yaoqing was appointed as the Jizhou governor, Wang Wei worked for him for about 2 years and compiled a flattering report about Pei Yaoqing's achievements as the governor of Shandong province. But Pei Yaoqing left Jizhou for another position in 726 AD, and Wang Wei was pardoned for his misconducts, and quit his job in 726. Pei Yaoqing went back to the capital to be the mayor of the capital in 732 AD and was promoted as the deputy premier a year later, joining the other two deputy premiers Zhang Jiuling and Li Linfu. Zhang Jiuling was regarded as one of the best Tang Dynasty premiers. I made a video about his life and translated one of his best-known poems. Here's the link. Li Linfu was labeled as one of the most evil premiers of the Tang Dynasty by many historians. He was the one who failed all the candidates, including the great poet Du Fu in the National Civil Service examination in 747 AD. Li Linfu framed both Pei Yaoqing and Zhang Jiuling many times to get rid of them so that he would have all the power to himself. He finally succeeded in 737 AD. Both Pei Yaoqing and Zhang Jiuling were demoted. Zhang Jiuling was sent to Sichuan as a low-rank official and passed away there in 740 AD, while Pei Yaoqing remained at the capital but took an honorary position without real power. However, with the backing of his family, Pei Yaoqing soon gained another high-rank position and was promoted as the Grand Counselor in 742 and remained in that position until he died in 744 AD. This showed how a politically powerful family could make a difference in one's political career during the Tang Dynasty. In a recent animation film, Chang An 3万里, or the 30,000 miles to Chang'an, there was a character named Pei 12, or Pei the 12th, who was supposedly the daughter of Pei Min. I watched the movie and liked the character a lot. However, the historical Pei 12 was definitely a man. And I suspect that Pei 12 and Pei Di were the same person. The evidence is that Wang Wei's friend Chu Guangxi composed a poem dedicated to Pei 12 and addressed him as my friend the swordsman. You might wonder why Pei Di was called Pei 10 Di or Pei the 10th Di by Wang Wei, but Pei 12 by Chu Guangxi. What happened between Wang Wei's time to Chu Guangxi's time? Now, let me explain how Pei 10 Di might become Pei 12 Di. As I mentioned in my other videos, brothers, first and second male cousins from an extended family were often labeled in numbers by their age. Sometimes their number would change for various reasons. For example, an uncle might have an illegitimate son he had from the family for various reasons. When the circumstances changed, he might be able to get his extended family to recognize his illegitimate son and get the son on Jiapu, or the family lineage register. Or a childless uncle might adopt a son to continue his branch of family line, etc. This would change the age ranks of all the other brothers and cousins accordingly. We don't know what was the situation in Pei Di's case, but I'm pretty sure that Pei 10 Di and Pei 12 Di were the same person, Pei Di. Furthermore, I would also argue that Pei Di was related to the Grand General Pei Min and was a rather good swordsman. Wang Wei composed a poem in the title of 浊酒与裴迪, or Drinking with Pei Di. In this poem, there is this couplet. 白首相知犹暗间，朱门先达笑谈关。We still hold our swords even in our old age in frustration, while the elite congratulate each other for their new promotions. In this poem, Wang Wei was trying to comfort Pei Di for his disappointments in his political career, saying that we should still be able to wield a sword even in our old age, meaning there was still opportunity for Pei Di. Chu Guangxi's poem is more explicit about Pei Di's swordsmanship in his poem 赠裴十二迪, all dedicated to Pei, the 12th Di. 远怀清明事，书见长相依。I miss my friend, the swordsman, from afar. He often carries his books and swords with him. Chu Guangxi's poem complimented how peaceful and free Pei Di's life was and was longing for a similar lifestyle. Although Wang Wei worked for Pei Yaoqing for a short period of time at Shandong, and even compiled a report praising the latter's achievement at Shandong, there is no surviving poem dedicated to Pei Yaoqing by Wang Wei. Instead, Wang Wei composed a poem dedicated to Pei Min, praising his swordsmanship and military achievements. So my informed guess is that Pei Di was from the extended family where both Grand General Pei Min and the Premier Pei Yaoqing came from, but might be closely related to the Grand General Pei Min. This can also explain how Pei Di learned the martial arts of a swordsman. From the poem I'm presenting today, Wang Wei and Pei Di probably knew each other long before Wang Wei bought the Whale River Villa. This poem showed a humorous side of Wang Wei that not many scholars noticed before. I have translated a poem by Li Bai making fun of Du Fu, teasing Du Fu that he was working too hard on his poetry, that he had become too thin. Here is the link. In today's poem, Wang Wei was teasing Pei Di while he was composing and chatting a poem. The title of the poem is 闻裴秀才敌 言诗演戏正, making fun of the supremely talented Pei Di when hearing him chanting a poem. Let me explain the phrase 言诗 first. 言 literally means to chant. 诗 means poem. So 言诗 means to chant a poem. It was a common practice among the poets to chant the poem while composing it by trying out different words, its sounds and tones. So 言诗 is not just chanting but also composing a poem. Now, let me read the poem in Chinese first. 原言一何苦，愁朝复悲兮。莫作巫峡声，断肠秋江客。yuan means monkey, yin means chant, 一何 means how, 苦 means bitter, 愁 means worry, 朝 means morning, 复 means and, 悲 means sad, 夕 means night. 莫 means don't, 作 means make, 巫 means witch, 峡 means gorge. Wuxia, or Witch Gorge, was known for its treacherous currents, where many people were drowned as their boats capsized. It was also said that the calling of the monkey at this area were particularly bitter and sighed as if mourning the dead. Seng means sound. wuxia sheng refers to the bitter and sad sounds made by the monkey from this area. Here are the two paintings of the witch goat I posted on the community page. Chang means gut, duan means break. Chang duan is a common phrase for heartbreaking. I have explained this term in another video. Here is the link. Qiu means autumn. Jiang refers to the Yangtze River. Qiujiang is also a common phrase in the Tang poetry. It sets the scene of autumn at the Yangtze River where people seeing their friends or family off. Ke means guest. It is also used to mean traveler. Here, Qiujiang Ke is used as a self-reference, so David and I translate it as I. I suspect this poem might be composed when Wang Wei and Pei Di were traveling together along the Yangtze River. So these two couplets can be translated as, How bitter is the squealing of the monkey! He is worried in the morning and sad at night. Please stop making sounds like the monkey from the witch goat. You are breaking my heart. There is no information about when this poem was composed, but I find out that Wang Wei only traveled to the south as far as today's Guangzhou once, and he traveled on land on his way to the south in 740 AD, and along the Yangtze River on his way back in 741 AD. So it is reasonable to assume that this poem was composed in 741, while he and Pei Di was traveling along the Yangtze River. It also fits with other facts we know about Wang Wei and Pei Di, such as Wang Wei bought the Whale River Villa a year later and set up a house there in 742 AD. Even though the poem's tone is a bit heavy, that it was the autumn, they were traveling on treacherous waters of the Yangtze River, and the monkey was howling bitterly along the bank. The poem was meant to be light-hearted. It was meant to make fun of Pei Di's chanting of his poems. At a deeper level, Wang Wei was also trying to lift Pei Di's mood and comforting him by showing how much he cared about him, by claiming that it broke his heart hearing the bitter and sad sounds made by Pei Di. At this time, Pei Di was in his early 20s. Pei Di probably reminded Wang Wei the setbacks Wang Wei experienced in his early 20s when he was exiled to Shandong province, and how much Wang Wei struggled with his own career back then. This might also be a signal showing how disappointed Wang Wei was with the politics at this time, and why he bought the Whale River Villa and devoted most of his time and energy to his Buddhist faith a year later. 742 AD was the turning point for Wang Wei's life. Although Wang Wei took up other positions during the following years and steadily rising in the bureaucratic ranks, he nonetheless paid more and more attention to his Buddhist devotion and spent more and more time at his Whale River Villa and dedicated his time to his Buddhist faith. In 750 AD, when Wang Wei's mother passed away, he followed the Confucian convention and retreated to the Whale River Valley to mourn his mother for 27 months. I think Wang Wei's feelings must make quite an impact on Pei Di because Pei Di also adopted the Buddhist faith and even demonstrated more insights in his own poems composed a few years later while staying with Wang Wei at the Whale River Villa. So I would argue that Wang Wei and Pei Di were not only close friends, but also shared the Buddhist faith. Pei might even be more advanced in his enlightenment on the faith than Wang Wei. I just read two poems composed by Wang Wei and Pei while they were visiting a Buddhist monastery. If there were enough interest, I'll make a video about these two poems. In my next video, I'm going to present a poem that was composed after Wang Wei retreated to the Veil River Villa. It is my favorite poem among all the poems composed by Wang Wei. I'll tell you why I love the poem most in my next video. I'm Dr. Gao, a philosopher obsessed with poetry. I make videos about classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, and traditional Chinese medicine. Please click the like button and subscribe my channel. Your support is very important to me. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can find the Patreon link in the homepage of my channel or the description section down below. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. If you would like to read the original Chinese text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you next time.